slowly. Mash it. Let's freshen up here and grab what I'm. Hi everyone, I'm back. Oh no, I am back. I had to go water the garden before it died. It's some product today. Sometimes in life, you just gotta know when to make lemonade, you know? And today's one of those days. I'm gonna see my buddy Chris today. Literally told him I'd be back in a couple weeks, and I'm gonna be back. He's a really cool guy. He's me like 80% off. That's not why. Well, I mean, I'm getting a deal, but he's a really cool guy. Gives me 80% off. Because I'm a YouTuber, you know? I don't get very many of these deals, like maybe six to 10 deals a week. You'd think I'd be getting like everything for free, not just 80% off, but that's not the case. So today on the show, as you saw in the thumbnail, we got packs on packs on packs, and these aren't your little baby packs of seeds. These are the big boy packs. How many seeds in here? Oh, 250. 300, 450 seeds per package. But we're big boys here over on the show. I know lots of you. You always wanted to be me, right? Now here I am. Here I am. And there you are. So today on the show, we've spoken to so many people last night and the night before. They're making up names. So many people are making up names. Last night I caught them. I had 3 different companies that are under the guise of the same company. It's very well done. No, it isn't. The one lady used an accent when she picked up on another phone number for another business for beans. I was like, this is not happening. But it really was. So I'm thinking that like the cops control the bean industry. That's what I've come to the conclusion of. It makes perfect sense, doesn't it? If the cops know where the beans are going, then the cops just have to go there in 6 months or 2 years, right? It's that easy. So I'm pretty sure the cops are bean dealers. Pretty sure. Because the only one that can sell them is the government. It doesn't make any sense. If it's legal, everybody should be selling them right now because they're legal. And then that way the government can't arrest everyone and there's no one to pay taxes. So, I have a dilemma, you know. As if, you know, I get gut-wrenched when I know that there's people out there that are doing it legally, but I'm not one of them, right? This is gut-wrenching to know that what you do, and apparently it's changing. It's changing like right away, I heard. I can't tell you any more than that. But see, the place that I live in Manitoba, it's a good place, and the laws are fair here, and I have more than a fighting chance of winning if I wanted to. But I don't want to do it that way, right? So I'm gonna go through the paperwork and the hurdles and complain. Like, not complain like, I'm gonna literally say, look at who is profiting. How come Manitoba can't profit? Why can't Manitobans profit? So we'll see what happens. But I'm doing it on the news. Like, I'm not just gonna go to, you know, something. I'm gonna have to go to the news to make this story heard, because that's the only way to get it done. Yeah. You know, Canada Day is coming up right away, and I don't understand how we can be celebrating right now. How so many people around the world can just not recognize what's going on. You know, I make no money off telling people to go prep. I also don't I never created a prepping channel because I don't want views. I'm not into, I would like views on the stuff that I make that I feel heartfelt about. I'm not going to go and talk about a topic just to generate views, right? I don't talk about you go watch the last 2 months, 3 months, a lot of stuff happened. Everyone was talking about Pirates of the Caribbean actor and the girl and this and that. Look how many titles I put of them. You go type in those two names and my name, nothing will pop up. Want to know why? Because it's none of my business, right? That's actually personal affairs of a man and a woman that may not be crazy, right? And I don't even care about your friends and your girlfriends and your boyfriend's problems. Don't come in here and talk about it. I don't care. If you're too stupid to lead a life that you can't figure out how to have a conversation with your loved one in a daily basis and it's not working out and you can't figure out you gotta leave, that's your own problem. When I make a video with substance and meaning to you, and also sometimes I am a little funny. I like to be a little bit goofy. Sometimes people aren't in the mood for that. I totally get it. I'm not 3/4 of the time. When I see someone being anything less than adult-like on video, I don't watch. And so I have to remember that, right? Because I like a certain type of content that there is none of. Very tiny amounts of on the internet daily coming out. If monthly, there's a new piece of content. So videos that interest me and intrigue me, I intend to make for the rest of time. Once we hit 7,000 videos, I am the expert of YouTubing. Those are 7,000 videos that are out. I've made over 13,500 videos on YouTube, and they're not 1-second clips. I've had every troll in America in my channel, and I've given you all an axe kick or a sweet elbow that you can't get. You're trying to pick your chicklets up right now still. And this happened 6 months ago, bro. Nothing will get in my way now. Nothing. When I talk about a topic, when I bring up a topic, I'm here to discuss it. If I miss the chat, it's not because sometimes I don't see it. Sometimes I can't see any chat right now. So I'll hit this button and I'll go to live chat. Nobody's chatted yet. Which is common. I mean, it's 10 in the morning, it's 8 in BC, it's 9 in BC, in Alberta. And, that's early for some people. I've been up since crack of dawn. I went back to sleep for a little while, and then I slept good last night. I'm not sore. This is amazing. I ate a nice meal of what's my name, and I feel amazing. But this is what I continuously forget. But then the other thing is it takes time for it to uptake and work its way through your spine, through your achy bones. My hands are better. I'm a game today. I'm going to try a little bit of a game, but for all day today I'm growing. Today's a grow day, tomorrow's a grow day, next day's a grow day. We're growing herb gardens. We're growing types of flowers, medicinal flowers was the term I was looking for. We're growing multiple herb gardens. We're growing multiple varieties of medicinal flowers. Everything completely 100% legal. I don't know, for some reason, because of my name, originally when I came on here, it made me famous, right? Not just my name, I proved it, right? Not only could I talk the talk, but I walked through the valley and into the Garden of Eden. I showed you. None of you have ever replicated what my gardens look like. And you should all be in awe that you can't replicate my growing style. Very few in the world. And there is another man in this province, too, that grows similar to me. They grow nothing like my flavor, my terpene, and my quality, and They grow great quality, but not my quality. And I'm not bragging. So many people have a wonderful gift. Mine is different than your areas of gardening, and it blows my mind that I can't see my style replicated. And why I find this so interesting is because two of my besties from way back that taught me almost, a ton of what I hold in me right now for growing knowledge. Both of them spent time with me daily for a decade. They grow similar, almost identical, but I figured out why more so than ever before. And I make sure I ask you about your grow, but I will never mimic your grow. I will take a piece of your grow if I think you have an amazing grow, and I'm like, well, what are you doing different than me? And if I'm like, oh my God, you're using all that and I don't use any of that, I'll use a little bit of that on one or two or half my garden, one cycle, and I'll notice the differences. If there are no differences to be noticed, I'll have to do it again, which is a big shame. And I'll have to look closer and spend even more time delving into what makes these different. There's something here. And if you think this is a joke, this is why it takes me so long to go through anything. But I'm not here to teach about that. I'm here to teach about I'll tell you this, what separated me from these two that did it almost identical. And if you hold up a nugget each of theirs, you'd never know the difference. They don't even like each other anymore. If you hold up a nugget each of theirs, because they all carry the same varieties, is they're bosses, like they're holders of what they used to be. No, things happen, right? And I learned from them, and they taught me well. And it was stern. It was very stern. One way less than the other. One hardly no stern, but one was super stern. The other actually was almost like good and evil, to be honest. But they're both good men, but very stern ways of teaching on this guy. And I don't know why, other than all his friends were very rough. And I think they bullied him a bit. Even though he was wicked tough and stuff, he just wasn't as strong as they were. Or maybe he was nicer and he didn't want to hurt them. I don't know. I think that's what it was. So anyway, this dude, the kind of grumpier dude and a bit older guy, was super cool. And he was very nice to me when I was very young. And then this guy was his best, it was kind of like, they were besties, but I was this guy's bestie too. And I knew this guy from when I was really young too, coincidentally. And it had nothing to do with gardening. Actually had to do with arcade games. And it was a funny story. I told this story one time, maybe twice on a live stream when my inception of the show. I can't say any names because it'll just lead down a rabbit hole that's too narrow. So, and I would like to at least initial it, but I can't. So buddy's in the arcades. I can't even give descriptions. So my buddy, I'm young. I'm in the arcade and I'm like, dude, you got a rocket in your ear. And he's like, what? And he's playing Mortal Kombat, the first Mortal Kombat. It's like 1994, 1993 or 4. I'm 13 or 14. He's like, shut up, kid. You're tiny. And he's like 10 years, he's like 25. And he's playing Mortal Kombat and he's got like $10 and change. And he's only there for like 5 minutes. He's going to get late right after this game probably, eh? And he's like, shut up, kid. And he didn't really talk like that to me, but it was like, what? Quiet, I'm playing. It's in the middle of a round now, shut up. So he gets back into it, eh? He doesn't say shut up, but I don't know what he says. It's 35 years ago. So I look at him like, dude, man, the cops just walked in. You got a reefer in your ear, bro. He's like, huh? And as they're walking around the arcade, there's two cops side by side. Early mid-90s, walk around an arcade Friday night. And he's like, phew, slams in his leather jacket. Thanks, kid. I'm like, yeah, I want some of that later. He didn't or whatever, but it was all, I'm just kidding. And he continues playing. They walk by him. They look at him. They look at me. I'm like, hey, do you mind if I join? Just kind of throw off the oinkers for a sec, throw in a quarter, slam in. sit there, start joining, start laughing, eh? Start doing anything to just kind of throw these two oinkers off of it. And not a big deal anyway, but still kind of a big deal, especially where I'm from in the 90s. And he's kind of out of place a little bit. But he only pops in just to have a few vids. But anybody that's kind of in an arcade, that's an adult, you know, in your early 20s, mid-20s, probably has a split in their pocket. And these oinkers aren't stupid. These ones, you know, they're semi-stupid, but they're not full-on just gibbled, right? They're only semi-gibbled right now. And so they're definitely taking a look onto them, and maybe like, they did only bust like 6 dudes that night, somewhere in the premises of the arcade. Insane. Like, and this is like a regular, like every 3 days there's another one. It's like for like drinking underage or like whatever, all stuff that's illegal and you shouldn't do, but still, like, you know, that's where they hang out and fish for people, right? They're fishermen trying to catch somebody, you know, to fine, to give a ticket to, you know, make money off of them. Like, a fisherman makes money off of people. I mean, a police makes money off of people, like a fisherman makes money off of fish. Well, policemen, it should be a people. But what's interesting is sometimes the politicians break the law and the police don't intervene. So that's why I have a little bit of a grudge against, not against, it's just a beef. I have a beef with the way the system works, right? It needs to be adjusted heavily. More transparency, right? I believe all police should be on a 24/7 live camera on YouTube permanently for us to see what our tax dollars are paying for. You know, this is big time. A lot of police make a ton of money. And there's a lot of police that have been caught doing corrupt things throughout history of Canada. You know, 100 years in Canada's history, police have been caught doing corrupt shit in Canada. Same as America, same as every country in the world. Once you get the power, corruption sets in. It's not fair. But we the people pay their job, their living. They pay for the buildings. We should know every single dealing they do. Every single dealing. And it's not like, oh, it's hush-hush. No, that's because there's corruption going on. As soon as it's hush-hush, it's no longer transparent. And this transparency is what we lack in our society in Canada. It's very common knowledge. But they dumb down Canada so dumb that nobody cares about transparency. It's its biggest topic I've been talking about since Harper. And my memory is starting to not return to me, but I'm starting to have my feelings come back about, you know, running for election. You know, I don't want to run to be a prime minister. I probably would never be able to. I'm poor, you know, I didn't graduate college, you know. I don't have a criminal record, nothing like that, but I just don't, I think that they want to vote for somebody's son who was either a movie star or a former corrupt politician, right? So I don't value the way that people make it into office, because, let's say this, I'll give you an example of a highly not plausible, but it could happen. If I became extremely famous on YouTube, extremely famous, and people wanted to meet me from all over the world, well, Canadian politicians would take note of that, the ones in the background, not the ones that you see in that they say people vote for in Canada, but the ones in the background that actually, you know, do you think George Bush actually writes anything on paper when he was in president? He was passed pieces of paper to read out loud. When George Bush signed something, he pulled out a motherfucking red crayon, Crayola red, fire engine rose hydrant red, and he signed his name. Goober, period. And look what he did to the world, you know? George Bush is one of the biggest contributors to where we are right now, and nobody knows it. But the Secret Service got too powerful, and most people don't know. Putin controlled the KGB, but everyone's too stupid to know that George Bush controlled the CIA, and still does. And these people, you watch me. You watch me. You own Google. You are part of Amazon. You're part of all of these things. It's just sickening. You know, my heart is broken with how corrupt everything is in this world, you know? Brokenhearted. And I love everyone that isn't a spy. I'll put it out like that. I love everyone that's not a spy. But to those that spy on other people, trying to make the world better, when you are the cause of the evil in the world, is bad, you know? It's bad. I've never hurt someone in my life. Ever hurt someone in my life that, not that didn't deserve it, that's not what I'm saying. They came at me, right? And then I just simply defend myself, always. Or there was someone in peril, and a big person that was evil was hurting a gentle, small person. And I would intervene. You can ask my wife. My wife's never seen me. I say almost 20 years. My wife's never seen me do anything less than, not, I don't want to say heroic, but like, you know, chivalry. I try to make sure that I protect anyone that's in trouble. I'm not because I get recognition. I've never told you. I don't sit here and wear a badge of all the, make a list of all the 27 times in the last 10 years that I've gone and done the right thing. No. And you never will. It's not, I don't care. Again, like people's personal affairs, that's my shit. That's not for you. If I tell a story that has pretext or substance to push you, not a narrative, but a feeling, you know, this is how I felt at the time because this was going on. I'll try and put you in my shoes so we can like be on the same page for a second. This is where my head was at. And then you're welcome to say, hey, I don't agree with that. Well, tell me why. Maybe, oh, geez, you know what? I was in the wrong. It was part of having a bit of a thing. But I'm not here to get praise or ask for your forgiveness or ask you what I should do. Period. When I make a video, it's just to have fun. And sometimes I go off a little bit, but it's been 30 minutes, right? And there's other factors at play, but we don't get into any of that. Trust me, mindset, perception, your perception can be perceived very differently, and everything is pretty much just a game. They don't want you to know that. Look how they judge you in this world. Do you have any buying power? It's called a score. A score of a credit. What is your credit score? You tell me we're not in a game. Wake up, man. A little